Capricorn, listen to me closely. This message will find you exactly when you need it. You didn't stumble on this video by accident, you were guided here. Because something inside you has been shifting, something deep that even you can't put into words. Before I say another word, pause for a moment, take a breath, and if your spirit feels this message pulling you in, hit that subscribe button and comment, I claim this energy, not for me, but for yourself. Because as you do, you're sending a signal to the universe that you're ready for your next chapter, and this chapter will change everything. For so long, Capricorn, you've been walking through storms that no one even noticed. People think you're fine because you keep moving, but they don't see the nights you cry silently, questioning why everything you give seems to come back as pain. You've mastered the art of appearing strong, but lately, that strength has been costing you. You've been feeling drained, almost like your soul is asking for something more, something beyond survival. You've been faithful, disciplined, determined, but there's a quiet war happening inside of you. It's not about failure, it's about timing. You feel stuck not because you've lost direction, but because God is forcing you to rest before your rise. The silence around you isn't rejection, it's redirection. And though it feels like everyone else is moving ahead, you're being pulled aside because what's meant for you is not ordinary, it's sacred. Think of David, yes, the shepherd boy from the Bible. When Samuel came looking for Israel's next king, David wasn't even in the room. His brothers stood tall, ready to be chosen, but David was out tending sheep, unseen, forgotten, overlooked. Yet when the time came, God said, "Anoint him." You Capricorn are in your shepherd season. You're out in the field doing what looks small, but heaven is watching. You're not being overlooked, you're being hidden. Because when your moment comes, no one will understand how you rose so fast. Do you ever wonder why the people you've helped most seem to turn against you? That's not a coincidence. You're being refined. Even betrayal is part of your preparation. Remember Joseph, betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, imprisoned, yet every downfall positioned him closer to his destiny. Capricorn, you're not losing, you're aligning. The delay is divine. The people who walked away had to go, or they would have drowned the very blessing meant to lift you. There's a story I need you to hear, a true one. A woman named Viola Davis once shared that before her first major film role, she almost gave up acting. She was broke, exhausted, and tired of rejection, but something told her to hold on just a little longer. That something was destiny whispering, "You're closer than you think," and she was. The very next audition changed her entire life. Capricorn, that's where you are, the almost moment, the breaking point before the breakthrough. Your story right now might look messy. You might be struggling financially, emotionally, or spiritually. You might feel forgotten by the same people who once promised to support you. But listen closely, destiny doesn't require witnesses. It requires endurance. You don't need people to believe in you. You need to keep believing in yourself when it doesn't make sense. Because when you finally emerge, the same people who ignored you will wonder how you survived what was designed to break you. You see, Capricorns carry something rare, the ability to build from nothing. You've always been the one who takes ashes and turns them into fire. But lately, it feels like that fire has been dimming. That's because you've been carrying more than your share, everyone's burdens, everyone's needs, everyone's pain, until you forgot your own. But this season isn't about saving everyone else. It's about saving yourself. The universe is forcing you to release what's not yours to carry. You're in a rebirth season, but rebirth always feels like death first. Everything falling apart right now isn't punishment, it's pruning. The things being stripped from your life are the things that can't go with you to your next level. That relationship ending, that job loss, that betrayal, none of it is random. It's all divine subtraction, because sometimes God has to empty your hands before he fills them again. There's another real story about a man named Steve Jobs. After building Apple, he was fired from the very company he created. Imagine that, building an empire and then being pushed out. But years later, that very fall became the reason he returned stronger, more visionary than ever. Capricorn, what feels like an ending is secretly a reset. The loss you're mourning now will one day be the reason you stand tall. The very thing that broke you will become the story that builds others. You've been noticing signs, repeating numbers, vivid dreams, sudden shifts in energy. These aren't coincidences. You're awakening. Your soul is preparing for what's coming, and the old you cannot go where the new you is destined to rise. That's why you've been uncomfortable. It's not anxiety, it's transformation. You're outgrowing people, habits, even environments that once felt like home. Because you're evolving into the version of yourself you once prayed to meet. Capricorn, let me say something prophetic. your story is about to shock people. They will remember the way they doubted you. They will recall every rumor, every dismissal, and they will have no choice but to say, it had to be divine. The tables are turning. Quietly, powerfully, unexplainably. You won't have to prove yourself anymore. Your results will do the talking. But before the elevation comes exposure. This is why the pressure feels unbearable. Every Capricorn right now is being tested in silence. Your faith, your patience, your self-worth, all of it is being weighed. Because your next chapter is not built on desperation. It's built on discernment. You're not supposed to chase anymore. You're supposed to attract by alignment. I want you to remember a small historical fact. Diamonds form under immense pressure, buried deep where no one can see them. Gold is refined in fire. Every valuable thing endures a process that seems destructive. And yet, it's the only way to reveal its true worth. You, Capricorn, are in your refinement stage. Every sleepless night, every disappointment, every closed door, all of it is shaping you for the moment when your name will carry weight. Do you remember Nelson Mandela? 27 years in prison, 27 years of silence. And yet, when he emerged, he didn't come out bitter, he came out ready. That's the kind of power growing inside you. You've been locked away emotionally, spiritually, even mentally, but the isolation isn't punishment, it's preparation. When you finally step forward, you won't be the same person who went into the storm. Now here, where things get real, many Capricorns have been dreaming of water lately, floods, rain, oceans, or being submerged. That's not random. In spiritual symbolism, water represents cleansing, rebirth, and emotional release. The universe is showing you that you're being washed clean of the energies that once held you back. Don't resist it. Let it flow. The moment you stop fighting what's leaving is the moment your blessings start arriving. Let's pause. If this message feels like it's describing your life right now, stop scrolling and type, "I receive it," in the comments. Don't do it for superstition. Do it because declaring your faith in moments of uncertainty opens energetic doors you can't yet see. You are calling in your season of restoration with your own words. You might not realize it, but every heartbreak you've endured has been molding your empathy, your strength, your wisdom. Even your loneliness served a purpose. It taught you how to be enough for yourself. That's why people misunderstand you. They sense your power but don't understand your peace. You've been learning to smile without needing validation. That's spiritual maturity. That's divine growth. But still, deep down, there's a voice that whispers, "When will it be my turn?" You've seen others celebrated for doing half of what you've done. You've watched people rise effortlessly while you've had to fight for every inch. Yet something inside you refuses to give up because you know this isn't the end of your story. You feel destiny chasing you, and it is. A real story comes to mind: Oprah Winfrey, fired from her first television job because she was unfit for TV. Imagine that, being told you're not good enough for the very thing you were born to do, but rejection redirected her to a platform that made her a global icon. Capricorn, what's been denied to you now will return multiplied. What's yours cannot be stolen. It can only be delayed until you're ready to hold it. You've been asking for signs. Here it is. The universe is orchestrating something behind the scenes that will make sense soon. The people who underestimated you will witness your rise. The doors that were locked will open without you knocking. But the price of elevation is isolation. You must learn to be okay with walking alone for a while. Every Capricorn has a moment, that breaking point when they finally stop chasing, stop explaining, stop begging to be understood, and start walking in their power. You're approaching that moment, that shift where your silence becomes louder than your words, that point where your energy starts speaking for you. Your pain has purpose, your patience has proof, and your journey, though heavy, is holy. You've been chosen not because you're the strongest, but because you're willing to endure what others can't. You're the one who can take pain and turn it into purpose, wounds and turn them into wisdom, silence and turn it into strategy. Every real Capricorn knows, when life pushes you to your knees, that's where miracles start. Because from that low position, you can finally look up and see who's been guiding you all along. You thought you were breaking down, but you were breaking open. Something is about to shift. You can feel it. The air feels different. The energy around you is changing. What you've been praying for, crying for, waiting for, it's closer than you think. But not everyone can go with you. Some chapters require solitude. Some blessings demand privacy. Don't fight what's falling away, bless it and release it. The time has come to stop doubting your intuition. You've known the truth for a while, you just haven't trusted it. But soon, everything hidden will be revealed. Every reason, every betrayal, every delay, it will all make sense. So listen, Capricorn, stay grounded, stay patient, stay faithful. Your comeback is not going to be loud. It's going to be legendary. You're not just rising, you're being restored. And when it happens, the world will finally understand why the wait was so long. Because what's coming for you will silence every doubt ever spoken against your name. And now, just as the light starts to return to your path, something unexpected begins to unfold. Capricorn, stop scrolling for a second. Something deep inside of you knows this message was meant for you. It's not an accident that you found this video tonight, not a coincidence that you're hearing these words right now. You could have scrolled past, but your spirit paused because it recognized something your mind couldn't yet explain. There's a shift happening in your life, a rearranging of things you thought were solid, and only 1% will catch it on time. If your soul has been restless lately, if you've been feeling drained or distant, if life feels like it's slowing down while your heart races faster, then I want you to tap that like button right now. Not because I asked you to, but because that small act of energy exchange tells the universe you're ready to receive. And subscribe too, because what's coming next might not just explain what's been happening to you, it might confirm it. There's a moment in every Capricorn's life when everything looks normal but feels completely wrong. You wake up, go about your day, speak to the same people, but something in the air has changed. It's heavier, silence feels louder. You can't explain it, but deep down, you know something invisible is shifting. Before every great turning point in your life, there's this same eerie calm, like the stillness before a divine storm. Even the Bible recorded it. Before the flood, Noah stood under an empty sky while people mocked him for building something they didn't understand. They laughed because they couldn't feel what he felt. He heard the whisper of heaven before the world did. That's you, Capricorn. You're building something people around you can't yet comprehend. History has shown this pattern too. Before the Berlin Wall fell, the air in Germany grew strangely still, a quiet tension that no one could describe. Before Rome burned, the stars glowed brighter than usual, as though the heavens were signaling an ending no one was prepared for. Change never shouts when it's near, it whispers. The world doesn't warn you before it turns, it tests your readiness. And that's what this moment in your life is about. You feel lost, uncertain, maybe even frustrated, because things that once worked suddenly don't. But the silence you're feeling isn't punishment, it's preparation. It's heaven holding its breath before your next elevation. Capricorn, you are ruled by Saturn, the planet of structure, discipline, and karma. That means your blessings don't arrive wrapped in ease, they come dressed as lessons. The universe doesn't hand you shortcuts, it gives you building blocks. That's why every door that closed, every friend that faded, every job that ended, none of it was random. You weren't losing things, you were shedding skin. Think of Oprah Winfrey. She was fired from her first television job because her producer told her she wasn't fit for TV. That rejection didn't destroy her, it redirected her toward her real purpose. If she had stayed comfortable, we would have never known her name. And you, Capricorn, are standing in that same kind of moment, a redirection disguised as a dead end. Remember Joseph in the Bible, the one who was betrayed by his brothers, thrown into a pit, sold into slavery and imprisoned, yet eventually became ruler of Egypt. Every loss he faced was a divine chess move. Every betrayal was placement. God wasn't punishing him, he was positioning him. The same thing is happening in your life right now. When you lose what you thought you couldn't live without, it's because the universe is making space for what can't be taken away from you. The pain you've been feeling is sacred language. It's how heaven speaks when it wants to get your attention. You've been praying for answers, but lately, the silence is the answer. Thomas Edison once said he didn't fail 1,000 times, he just discovered 1,000 ways that didn't work. That's the kind of spiritual stamina that defines a Capricorn. You don't crumble under pressure, you crystallize, you turn chaos into creation. Like David, who was anointed as king long before he ever wore the crown. Between his promise and his throne, he faced lions, giants, betrayal, and rejection, but what looked like delay was divine conditioning. If he hadn't faced Goliath, no one would have believed he was chosen. The same battles you've been fighting lately aren't obstacles, they're proof of your calling. When life slows down and you feel invisible, remember, some miracles need privacy before the world can see them. Lately, many Capricorns have been sensing a strange heaviness, sudden fatigue, vivid dreams, energy shifts, or feeling disconnected from people they once trusted. This isn't your imagination, it's spiritual interference. When your vibration rises, not everyone can stay in your orbit. Even Moses experienced it. When he climbed Mount Sinai to meet with God, the people below lost patience and built idols. The air was too thin for them where he was going. And you, Capricorn, are climbing too high for some people to breathe beside you. It's not rejection, it's protection. The higher you rise, the smaller your circle becomes. Jim Carrey once said, "I wish everyone could become rich and famous to realize it's not the answer." Success didn't bring him peace, it revealed what was already inside. Sometimes elevation doesn't change your life, it exposes your soul. And when the light grows brighter, shadows appear clearer. The sudden tension around certain people isn't random, it's spiritual contrast. Your frequency is revealing who's meant to stay and who must fade. You're not losing friends, you're losing frequencies. Have you been seeing signs lately? Maybe ants appearing in strange places, feathers showing up where they shouldn't, songs repeating the same haunting line, or numbers like 111, 333, and 777 flashing at odd times. These are not coincidences, they're coordinates. In ancient Egypt, ants symbolized divine order, a sign of discipline and unseen work beneath the surface. In the Bible, ravens were sent to feed Elijah during his season of isolation. In modern psychology, they're called synchronicities, patterns that appear when your subconscious is aligning with divine truth. Capricorn, your spirit is alert. It already knows what your mind is still trying to understand. When you get chills for no reason, when a random word hits too deep, when a memory resurfaces out of nowhere, that's the universe confirming what you can't yet see. There's a story about a woman named Sarah who lost everything, her job, her fiancé, her savings, all within 3 months. She was a Capricorn, she thought life was over. But in that silence, she started painting again, something she hadn't done since childhood. Within a year, her art was discovered online by a gallery owner who showcased her work in London. Today, she travels the world teaching creativity and healing. Sarah's breakdown was never destruction, it was divine reconstruction. What felt like loss was actually redirection. Capricorn, your story may look different, but the pattern is the same. When everything collapses, it's because the blueprint is changing. Tyler Perry's story echoes this truth. He lived in his car for months, struggling to get his plays noticed. Rejection after rejection, yet he refused to give up. He said his turning point came the day he realized the pain wasn't punishment, it was pruning. The universe was cutting away everything not rooted in faith. Soon after, his show sold out, and he became one of Hollywood's most powerful voices. Capricorn, that's your energy. You build from nothing, and you turn suffering into success. Every delay in your life is a doorway to deeper alignment. Then there's the story of Nelson Mandela, who spent 27 years in prison, cut off from the world, forgotten by many. But he said those years taught him patience, silence, and strategy. When he finally walked out, he didn't come out bitter, he came out ready to lead. He was released not as a prisoner, but as a president. Capricorn, sometimes your waiting season is not a holding cell, it's a workshop for wisdom. The reason your path feels longer than others is because your destiny carries weight. When tears come too often and words don't seem to fix anything, remember Hannah in the Bible. She cried so deeply that even the priest thought she was drunk. But those tears birthed Samuel, a prophet who would anoint kings. Your pain is birthing something too. Every time you've cried yourself to sleep, heaven counted those tears as seeds. And seeds don't grow in light, they grow in darkness. The dirt you're buried under isn't your grave, it's your ground. Capricorn, I know you felt tired lately, tired of giving your all and receiving so little, tired of waiting for something you can't name. But the reason it feels heavy is because you're carrying a future that's almost ready to arrive. The instability you're experiencing, sudden endings, random losses, unexpected emotions, that's the spiritual earthquake before the alignment. When a forest burns, it looks like destruction, but that fire clears the old roots, allowing new life to bloom stronger. The same thing is happening inside you. After the Great Fire of London in 1666, the city was rebuilt with stronger structures, wider streets, and a new design that would stand the test of time. What looked like ruin was renewal. Capricorn, your inner fire is burning away what can't last in your next chapter. You are being refined, not ruined. The people walking away, the jobs ending, the opportunities fading, they were never your foundation. The universe is rebuilding you from the inside out. As chaos surrounds you, something quiet begins to rise within. You start to notice subtle peace, a calm that doesn't make sense. Small blessings return, someone unexpected calls to check on you, a project you gave up on starts to move again. These are not coincidences. This is confirmation. The storm didn't destroy you, it repositioned you. Just like Noah stepping out of the ark to see a rainbow after endless rain, you're beginning to glimpse the pattern. Job lost everything, his wealth, his health, his family, and still said, "Though he slay me, yet will I trust him." That's the faith of a Capricorn heart. You endure not because you're unbreakable, but because you refuse to stop believing. Every unanswered prayer, every painful delay, every lonely night, it's been molding your strength into something unshakable. And now, something in the atmosphere is shifting again. You start feeling it, an unusual calm before another unexpected change. It's not fear this time, it's familiarity. You've walked this path before, but something about this moment feels different. The energy is thicker. The signs come faster. Dreams grow more vivid. Conversations feel coded. Your intuition is louder, almost urgent. Something is coming, not destruction this time, but revelation. And as you sit there, perhaps late at night with your thoughts spinning, you realize something powerful. The pain, the confusion, the silence, they were never random. They were messages. Every setback was sacred design. Every closed door was a rerouting. Every ending was a prophecy in disguise. The universe didn't forget you, Capricorn. It's been secretly arranging your next elevation, brick by brick, moment by moment. But just when you start to piece it all together, when you begin to feel the clarity forming, something unexpected happens. A message, a dream, or a sudden event that feels too aligned to be coincidence. It stops you in your tracks. The air shifts again, just like it did before everything changed the last time. Your heart starts to race. It feels like déjà vu, but deeper, like you've seen this exact moment in your spirit long before it arrived. You take a deep breath, because somehow you already know, this is it, the signal you've been waiting for. The moment when everything you couldn't understand finally starts to make sense. The universe is about to show you why it all had to happen this way.